Oh my god, bro! Getting to Harvard is actually so easy.
Today, we're going to be playing a game. We're going to be guessing which medical school is the hardest one to get into based on our debates. So Nimit and Russell will be debating against each other, and I'll be judging based on the arguments that they make. Whoever has a better argument gets 1 point, and whoever loses this game has to do a forfeit at the end. All right, let's get into it. So the first one is McMaster University. We'll start off with you, Russell.
From what I know of McMaster, right? 32% GPA, 32% Casper, 32% cars. I'm not very good at cars, so I'm going to put that in God tier right now.
God
So I'm
tier?
pretty sure it's 32%, not 33%, because they give 1% for masters and 4% for PhD.
Bro,
Are you serious right now, bro?
And also they don't look at your ABS, have no essays, so it's honestly not that hard. So I'd put it in easy.
First of all, I think you're just straight up wrong. Okay? They don't look at ABS as true, but doesn't that make it harder? Because then people who actually have good experiences, people who aren't good at taking the MCAT or Casper, right? They have such a terrible chance of getting into McMaster.
No, it's just a test. Just do 2 tests and you're fine. You don't have to worry about so many subjective guidelines.
Okay, this is getting heated. So I'm going to give this point to Russell, but I'm not going to give it.
What
to
are you
God
talking
tier.
about?
There we go.
I'm going to put it under very, very hard because
Oh my god.
yes.
This guy's biased.
Please don't interrupt. All right, next one. NOSM, or North Ontario School of Medicine.
Yeah, so this one's a difficult one. I actually think this is God tier because if you're not from Northern Ontario, you're not getting in.
Yeah, buddy. It's on now.
Okay, I completely disagree with them here. I personally think this should be put in a joke. It basically screens out like a bunch of applicants. Like anyone who's not from Northern Ontario has a very, very difficult time getting in. But the
Exactly.
people inside Northern Ontario, that makes it so much easier for that population, right?
Okay, but how many people are there in Northern Ontario and how many people are there in the rest of Canada?
I get it, right? But if you think about how hard it is to get into, right? The Northern Ontario pathway does make it really, really straightforward to get in. The context score, it immediately makes
Russell,
you...
are you from a rural area or are you from Toronto?
I'm from Toronto. I'm from Toronto.
Okay,
You're from Toronto? You're from
okay,
Ajax or so.
Well, I'm sorry. Yes, I am from a rural area, guys. I'm from Ajax. Yeah.
All right,
That's
well,
what you like to
since
hear.
Russell, you're not from a rural area, I'm going to be giving the point to Nimit, and this goes to God tier. Let's move on to the next one. Queen's University.
As far as I know, this university is called the black box for a reason. No one really knows how they evaluate applications, but because of the fact that it's pretty streamlined, like you know, they look at reference letters, they look at your ABS, but however, they don't look at high school activities, right? That is why I would put it in respectable here.
All right, Nimit, quite a bit of rambling there. What do you think?
I don't disagree with him that much this time, but I think it's very, very hard. It's not respectable because it has so many factors that you never know what's going to get you in or what's going to get you out. So because of that, it's very, very hard.
I'll be giving the point to Nimit, and I'm putting it under very, very
What
hard.
do you mean? What?
I'm saying this because it is a black box, and at the same time, there's only 100 or 110 students that end up getting in with 3,000 to 4,000 applicants. So I'll be putting it under very,
Almost
very hard.
6,000 applicants, actually.
Okay, just because you said that, I'm putting it under respectable.
Use
You know
the
what?
facts.
No one gets the points there. Let's move on to the next one. It's still
Yes.
tied.
So it's
Dalhousie
1-1.
University.
This one, it's a little bit more difficult just because of the whole, it's the same thing with NOSM, right? Like if you're in Nova Scotia or you have connections to the maritime communities, it's a lot easier to get in. But out of province, you know, like insanely high MCAT cutoffs, insanely high GPA, I would put this in very, very hard. Simply because I do know a lot of people that are out of province that go to Dalhousie, but I can't say the same for NOSM.
Honestly, like every time Russo talks, he says something and then he contradicts himself. So first he said it's really hard to get into, and then he's like, I know out of province people who go to Dalhousie.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
So like, how does that make sense? So
I mean,
that's
I was talking about in relative
let me
to
finish.
relative to
Can you let me
NOSM.
finish?
No,
Let me
I'm
finish.
interrupting.
All right,
I'm
Russell, I'll
interrupting.
have to mute you.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because of that very reason, I think I'd put in easy.
I still think it's very hard because they have a certain number of spots for out of province interviews, like, but they have to meet.
One
I feel
thing
like
I will give to you is that you do have to write that essay for saying why you want to apply to Dal even though you're out of province, and you have to have like a compelling argument, but that's still pretty easy.
I mean, I don't think essay writing is easy for everyone, to be honest.
Russell, what tier would you put it under?
Very, very hard.
Very, very hard.
On the same
And that
level.
is what we're selecting.
Ah, nice.
Russo gets the point there.
There we go. That's what I
Because
thought.
it is pretty hard for out of province people to get in. Let's move on to the next one. We have Western University. I'm gonna start off with Nimit. Nimit, what do you think?
I would put it under very, very hard because they make you write 8 essays and they have so many different
Actually,
things.
nine essays.
Okay, it could be 9. The 9th one's optional actually. The cutoffs are also relatively high.
I just feel like you know you're wrong when even the host is telling you that you're wrong. Like even I just feel like that's a clear indicator that what you're saying is just like factually incorrect. All right. And for that reason, I will put it in a joke, in the joke tier. Because Western, I'm sure you could probably write like anything in those essays, right? Like there are 9 essays, right? I could probably like write those in my sleep.
Are you sure about that?
And I'll probably like get in, right? So I think it's a joke personally. Like, but yeah.
I think that rating is a joke.
I don't know.
You know what? You know what? The point goes to Russo there. Russo
There
takes
it is,
the
bro.
lead at
This is just
3-1.
cheating, bro.
There
It's
we
because
go.
it is actually 9 essays. Half of them are not compulsory. So I will be putting this under not a joke, but I'll put it under respectable. All right. Next, university, UBC.
UBC, as far as I'm aware, like, they have this like English course requirement, and I guess it depends on how good you are at English. And their interview, from what I've heard, is actually really difficult. But however, like despite me saying all that, I feel like a lot of out of province applicants do get into UBC. So in that case, I will probably put it at respectable.
So I think UBC is actually God tier because as Rushal mentioned, you have to take these English courses. And English courses don't let you get a good GPA. And if you mess up your GPA, you're not going to get into med school.
Putting it in God tier just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, the interview is hard. Yeah, they have the English course requirement, but they also don't have an MCAT requirement. Okay.
The point goes to Nimit there. But I'm
Nah.
not going to put it under God tier because I don't think it's as hard as NOSM to get into. I'll be putting it under very, very hard.
Okay.
The score is now 3-2 with Russell
okay
taking
with
the
that.
lead. Next university, Ottawa. Nimit, what do you think?
Okay, this one, come on. This one has to be a joke. No MCAT. You just look at Casper and your GPA. I don't even know if they look at your ABS, right? And come on, guys, look, it's Ottawa, right?
Yeah, I can think of a multitude of reasons as to why I can disagree with you, man. I just think everything you said there is just completely wrong. Okay. Yeah, they don't have the MCAT, right? But that just makes it so that you have to score insanely well on Casper and have an insanely high GPA in order to even just get an interview. I'm pretty sure you have to have above a 3.95 GPA to even get an interview, to even be considered. So I think we should put it in respectable.
Just picking
You know
C
what?
on the Scantron.
I will be giving Russell the point.
Oh my
It goes
God.
to respectable.
Bro,
That is because the
Hey, man.
majority,
what are you
majority
talking
of
about?
Russo's arguments were correct, and Nimit was incorrect. The score is now 4-2 with Russo leading. Let's see if Nimit can make the
I'm
comeback.
gonna bring it back. I'm gonna win.
All right,
Sure,
now
buddy.
the infamous University of Toronto.
Yeah, so I'm just merely gonna put my tier out there. I'm not even gonna give a reason. It's just a joke. Like I'm not even gonna say anything else. I don't need to say anything else. It's a joke.
All right,
Literally
so
like a 2-year-old can get in, bro. Like, they like people who can't read can probably get in.
U of T is like the best med school in Canada. In
Debatable.
some parts, yes, debatable. So it has to be very, very hard. I'm not gonna put it under God tier because there's no MCAT competitiveness, there's no Casper, but there are essays and there are a heavy emphasis on your ABS and references, and of course GPA.
This guy's already acting like he's part of the admissions committee for U of T Med, right? Just because he's there, he's just like chilling there. That's why he's like, yo, like, but he knows the truth. He knows the truth. He knows it's in a joke. I could probably not even like submit an application and get into U of T. I go to U of T already, right? I go to U of T already.
I'll be giving Nimit the point there for very, very
don't
hard,
understand this.
and I'll be placing U of T under that. I do want to remind the viewers, there's a forfeit at the end, so whoever loses these arguments will be eating a lemon or something. We'll decide at the end. All right. Now, I think this is arguably the hardest or most debatable university to talk about. So, you know what? Why don't we start with the loser here, Nimit? What do you think?
Thank you for calling me a loser, first of all.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Rush will agree with me on this one that Harvard's just a joke. It's too easy to get in.
I'd have to also say it's a joke.
Yeah. McGill University.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna put McGill in respectable, but this isn't for the actual university or how hard it is. I just really like Montreal. Has a European feel. So because of that, I respect the city and the university, which is why it should be in respectable.
Fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth. You better hit it. I want uOttawa.
Okay, well, very dumb argument made there.
I mean,
Russell.
you are going to be there for 4 years.
I'm just
Not even
saying.
dumb.
I'm just saying. This guy
What do
hasn't
you mean
even
by
been
that?
to Montreal. This guy hasn't
What do
even
you
been to
mean?
Montreal, and he's saying that, right? But let's look at this more objectively, shall we? Instead of using some weird arguments like them, right? McGill has a French requirement now. You have to be able to speak French if you want to go. I've heard also their interview is very difficult. And based on those two facts alone, I think it should be put in very, very hard.
Nimit, what are your opinions on this?
Rushel, man, you just said that it's easy for people in Quebec to get in.
I never
Right?
said that.
You
You
just
just said
did.
that. You just put words
You
in my
said
mouth.
that. You literally said that.
I never said that.
So if you said that, how can it be very, very hard?
I would be putting McGill under respectable. No one gets the point for this.
What do you mean,
Both
bro?
of you
I
made
said
some very
respectable.
dumb arguments.
Oh
I'll put
my
it
God.
under
How
respectable
am I arguing
because
this dumb? I literally just
please
looked at
don't
it
please
objectively.
please don't interrupt. I'll put it under respectable because yes, the interviews are hard. Yes, there's a French requirement, but it's achievable. You can get there. I'm gonna go for respectable.
That doesn't make any sense, I swear. That's like the part the worst argument.
Okay, you know what? It's 3-3 now. It's tied. I'm
What?
putting under very, very hard.
What?
It's 3-3 now. You
I
just lost a
a
point. You've lost a point. Let's move on to University of Calgary. 3-3 is the score. There's 2 left. Let's see who can get this.
All right, so they have a cars cutoff of 128, and they have a few other cutoffs, right? I haven't heard too much about this interview, but I'm assuming it's also pretty difficult. However, because of the cutoffs and because of the GPA, how difficult it is for out of province, I think I'm gonna put this. I wouldn't say it's as hard as Dalhousie or McGill, so I'll put it in under respectable.
Well, this is obviously easy. Rushel just like always just goes to respectable, right? Puts C on the Scantron, makes it boring, right? But you actually have to know what it is, right? So first of all, Calgary, I think, has a 3-year program. They have that high cars cutoff, but that's just basically like Mac, right? I'm pretty sure if you're in the province, it's like a 20% acceptance rate. So you're just like walking in. You can like 1 out of 5 people will get in.
Okay, so fair point, right? But actually it's not fair at the same time. You said that it's supposedly 1 out of 5 people from Calgary get in.
Yes, I don't know the exact stat, yes.
Yeah, you don't know. That's the problem here, right? But so assuming that stat is correct, right? You could argue that Calgary should be put in a joke. However, if you're out of province, right, it's still so difficult. There's a high cars cutoff, there's a difficult interview, there's a high GPA cutoff. So you could argue that it should be put in God tier, right? So how do we average those twos out? We put them in respectable.
2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
I completely
understand.
cut off what Russo was talking about, but I do understand what he's saying, so I will give him
What?
the
You
point
didn't
there,
listen to him.
and I will be putting it under
dumb.
respectable. The last point is University of Saskatchewan's medical school. I have my thoughts about it. If you guys align with my thoughts, you'll get 2 points instead of just 1. This is the game winner. Russo is leading with 4, and Nim is losing with 3 points. Whoever gets the 2 points doesn't have to do the forfeit.
Can we just not do the forfeit?
No. You know what? I'll start with you because you're talking too much. Russo, University of Saskatchewan's medical school. Where do you put it?
3 words. Easy, AF.
I'm sure Rushel finds it really easy because it's Saskatchewan, right? The prairies, and it's really nice rural area,
Again,
right?
I have no idea how this relates to getting in.
Rushel's used to
what
that, right?
interview.
So obviously it's easy for him to transition to there, but it's not easy.
Russo, you said easy AF. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
3 words. Easy.
All right,
Hey.
I'm not gonna let you repeat yourself. Explain why you
This
think
is the
it's
last
easy
point.
AF.
Do you really want to chew a lemon, dog?
3 words. Easy.
All right, you know what?
F.
All right, Nimit, you get the last say on this.
Saskatchewan is very, very hard because it has a bunch of requirements. It's like impossible to get in out of province unless you're some like MCAT god, So because of that, it's very, very hard. We also put McGill and Dalhousie there, which are similar to uSaskatchewan. So I would compare it to that.
I have one fact to bring up. I actually searched this up on Google. Did you know everyone in Saskatchewan is a doctor? Did you know that?
The point goes to Nimit.
No,
Nimit wins the game.
Oh, how,
But-
man?
but I'll be putting.
That's just what you got.
I'll be
Drew. Look,
putting. I'll be putting University of Saskatchewan under God tier. All right.
He's
Well,
trash.
that is the end of the game. Now we know who's chewing the lemon.
Right, there you go. 3, 2, 1.
Bro, you barely chewed it. Bro,
Yeah,
do it more.
No, the
all
whole
way
thing.
in.
Put
it
the
all
whole
the
thing
way
in.
Put it all the way
Put
in.
the whole thing in.
No, go.
Wait, no, put the whole thing in.
Do it, man. Okay, that's a lot. That was good.
No, one more. No, keep chewing it. Keep chewing it.
Bro, if I lost this challenge, I would have had I would have had an allergic reaction.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like this kind of style, we'll do more videos on this. And like for Russell, comment for Russell, and subscribe for Russell. See you next time.